So when we talk to sales leaders, both in large and small organizations, we tend to hear the same things. What they want to see is they want to see their sales managers, those frontline sales managers, doing more coaching, more of that one-on-one practice coaching that develops the skills of their people. They want their salespeople to ask better questions, listen, and identify bigger selling opportunities. They want to create a practice culture where more of that kind of practice that accelerates the development, especially of their newer people, happens faster. What's really interesting is that when you ask these sales leaders if they're satisfied with the progress their teams are making in these areas, typically they're not. Sales leaders tell us that about 70% of their salespeople are making the same mistakes on most of their sales calls. Not listening, not asking great questions, inability to communicate value, and they can't close. And they also say that they find very few of their frontline sales managers that do the kind of coaching that rapidly fixes that problem. So we've taken a hard look at this and researched why is this occurring. It comes down to a few really key things that we've learned. So one of the causes of this problem is that most frontline sales managers consider sales coaching to be going over numbers, forecasts, pipelines, going through deals one by one, and really just kind of working one-on-one to try to identify better strategies, goals, and try to motivate their people. And that stuff is important, but that's not the kind of coaching that really improves salespeople's skills. What they need is a more sports-oriented coaching, which is drills-based. Another reason why this kind of practice coaching isn't happening is that practice is awkward. Most salespeople and sales managers don't know how to do it. So when they get together and it's time to do a drill or a role play, it feels kind of awkward. And because sales managers don't know how to do it and salespeople typically don't like it, they avoid it. So sales managers need to learn a better way to conduct those kind of drills that's faster, quicker, and less threatening, more developmental and less judgmental. That's something we've studied, and we've learned how to teach sales managers how to do it. So the third thing that's critically important is that sales managers need a system, a practice system, and very few companies have it. In fact, we've come across no companies that really have an effective practice system that their sales managers can use. And when we talk about that, what we mean is breaking down the optimal sales process that works in their business into the steps or stages that a salesperson needs to master verbally to lead their prospects and customers through it. The basic skills like how to use an agenda to start a call, how to ask the right questions, how to use insights to tee up even better questions, how to summarize at the right point in the conversation, how to communicate a really effective solution that's going to have impact, and how to take it from a transactional sale to a solution-oriented sale. You see, these are topics that can be broken down and practiced one by one, but it needs to be built into a system, and most companies don't have it, and as a result of that, it's hard for salespeople and sales managers to practice. So these insights give an indication into how a SalesGym project works, which is what a lot of sales leaders ask us. A project typically follows these steps, whether it's a big full-blown project that covers all stages of the sales process, or maybe a shorter evaluation that just covers a few things like sales messaging. But they start the same way. The first thing we do is we ask the sales leader to arrange a call with 3 or 4 top performers on it, where we can ask them questions about the sales process, what the first meeting and the second meeting sounds like, what are the questions they ask, how do they answer questions like what differentiates you from your competitors? And we listen and we record what they say and we analyze it. Then we take what we've learned from those interviews and we combine it with what we've learned from other top performers. Most sales leaders are surprised that the approaches and techniques that we suggest are often a really good complement that can make their sales process even more effective. So after we do that, we build all this information into individual topics that salespeople and sales managers and sales coaches can practice. Topics like how to start a call with a great agenda, or how to ask the opening questions to get the prospect or client talking. So that's exactly how a project works. We learn the sales process and sales messaging, we build it into a practice system, and then we deliver and demonstrate that practice coaching weekly over a period of 10 to 15 weeks so that the salesperson and the frontline sales manager learns it together. The other thing that really works is we do our coaching over the phone so that we can record it. And what's really great is you can capture these best practices. In other words, your people communicating what differentiates them from their competitors and how to answer objections and how to start a call off the right way. We capture those snippets and then you can put them into new hire training or use them in sales meetings, and it serves as a great reservoir or archive of best practices. Salespeople tell us the drills they experience with SalesGym are completely different from any other training they've ever experienced. It's much more like training in a gym with more repetition, practice, and quick tips coaching. So that's typically how a SalesGym project works. We learn the business first, we build the practice system, we demonstrate how to do the practice so salespeople and sales managers learn it together, and finally, we harvest those best practices because they can be used in a variety of ways to accelerate the progress of the sales team. So that's typically how a sales project works and how we accelerate the progress of sales teams and teach sales managers and salespeople to practice and coach the way elite sports teams do it.